So if compliments are what you desire from your fragrance purchases and you're looking to increase your niche wardrobe, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 10 niche fragrances that are guaranteed to get compliments. These are all fragrances that I've had very good luck with in terms of receiving compliments. I'm excited to get into this list, so make sure to stay tuned. Before I begin this video and I tell you about 10 niche fragrances that do get compliments, and I have personally gotten complimented on these fragrances, I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance related content, if you like top 10 videos just like this, but also reviews, giveaways, unboxings, and more, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. All you have to do is click on that red button in the corner. And of course, while you're at it, please be sure to enable notifications by clicking on the bell icon. Now, before I get on with this list and I tell you what these fragrances are, I do want to mention that if you are interested in picking up any of these fragrances, you may do so at FRAGRANCEUSA.com. I'm going to leave their information down below. They have super fast shipping, great customer service, and they have 100% authentic products, really good prices, and a lot of hard to find designer and niche fragrances. I also have my coupon code. I'm going to leave that down below as well. That guarantees that you're going to get the best price on your purchase. I do not get any kickback from that coupon code, but it's just something to basically track where the sales are coming from, and it's something to give my subscribers a really good deal. So these are all fragrances that I've had in my collection for a while now, with the exception of one of them, and I'll let you know what it is when we get to it. But these are fragrances that always get me compliments. There's always somebody who says, wow, you smell good, or that smells clean, or that smells professional. And I'm also going to be honest, my wife loves every fragrance on this list. And so she's one very tough critic. She's often hard to please. But with that being said, let's just go ahead and dive into the list. And the first fragrance that I want to talk about is by Incio Parfums, and this one is called Rehab. I love Rehab, right? So this is like the niche version of Spice Bomb. You have vetiver, you have this pink pepper nuance in there, tobacco-like quality as well. My wife's personal favorite that she likes to wear is actually Musk Therapy, and I haven't been wearing it recently just because she's pretty much used up the entire bottle, but I love wearing Rehab. I find it to be really versatile. Of course, I always enjoy wearing it in the autumn, but it is the type of fragrance that you can wear all year round, and it will work really well for you. The next fragrance that I want to talk about is by Titiana Terenzi, and this one is called Orion. So this has a note breakdown that's quite similar to Creed's Aventus, except this has agarwood in the base, and there's more of a woodsy feel. So it has that woodsy component, the cedar wood, the agarwood, which makes it a little bit heavier and a little bit denser than Creed Aventus. And so, you know, Aventus is like the king of compliments, right? Some people beg to differ, but myself personally, it's one of the niche fragrances from which I have received the most amount of compliments. So here you have more or less a DNA that replicates the compliment factor of Creed Aventus, and so you're likely to do really well with Orion as well. So the next one is the new acquisition of mine. I've only had this in my possession for like the past month and a half or something like that. And this one by Eccentric Molecules is called Molecule 01 plus Mandarin, or maybe this is the front of the bottle, I'm not sure. So this is basically Isoe Super, which is the ingredient that is found in Molecule 01 that's said to have like a pheromone-like effect, but they've added a really natural and tangy mandarin note, and so it opens up very bright and citrusy. So I think this is an improvement for one reason. One, the DNA is far more complex than the original, which only contained one note, but I feel like because of the mandarin, it's quite noticeable, and so people are going to be more likely to detect the smell of this off of you. And so for that reason, I really like wearing this one in place of Molecule 01. I've already worn maybe about 5 mLs of it or something like that, but I really, really like this one. And yes, you can use this one for layering as well. It's not just the original that can be used for layering. The next fragrance I want to talk about is very bright and refreshing, ample amounts of citrus in here by Xerjoff. This is called Oudin Overdose. And so you have the brightness of the bergamot, you have a little bit of a tobacco nuance in here as well, which is also found in the original Oudin, but it's also very clean, very polished, very gentleman-like, very refined. I'm personally a fan of this one. I've owned this one for well over a year now, maybe a couple years, and I'm a big fan of Oudin Overdose by Xerjoff. So the next fragrance is probably my most complimented fragrance on this entire list, and of course, no surprise, it's Creed Aventus, but it goes without saying, you know, I've owned like 6 or 7 bottles of this in my lifetime. And so, you know, because I've worn this so much, you know, I think it has a high batting average, but I've also put it out there more often than I've put out some of these other fragrances. And so with cretoventus, I really think it's some of the earlier batches that had this magical quality about them, you know, like the XO2 batch and the Z01 batch, of which I was a proud owner. So I think it's the inclusion of that noticeable birch tar element that allowed this one to get as many compliments as it did. But nevertheless, to this day, I still get a lot of compliments from cretoventus. If you layer cretoventus with Molecule 01, that is like end game, right? You're gonna do really, really well. The next one that I want to talk about is a fragrance that also utilizes an Aventus type DNA, except this one is smokier. And so this one kind of captures the magic of some of the earlier batches. This one by Nishane is called chavat. And so again, you know, it's not the exact same thing. It is quite different. It has this earthy component. It's a little smoky as well. Brilliant creation by Jorge Lee. I really love chavat, and yes, I do get a lot of compliments wearing this one. The next fragrance that I want to talk about is by Incio Parfums, and this is my second bottle of this fragrance. This one is called Elysium. With Elysium, you get that really bright citrus in the opening, the clean white florals in the heart, which are not overpowering in any way, and then you have those smooth regal woods in the base. What an amazing fragrance. And it goes without saying that if you take a look at the fragrances on this list, you'll see that there are fragrances that are primarily fresher, brighter, easier to wear, more mass appealing DNA, not anything that is uber challenging or anything like that, because sometimes it's hard to get the appropriate reactions from people when you're wearing something that's a little bit on the dark side and smoky side and resinous side. People aren't often looking for that. And so the next fragrance is a testament to, you know, the brightness of the DNAs that we're sort of looking at here. And this one by BDK Parfum is called Citrus Riviera. So it's aromatic, it's citrusy, it's so bright and lively, and it is a summertime type of a fragrance. So it's one that I'm gonna be personally featuring in my top 10 best summer list of all of the fragrances in my collection. And it's one of my favorites from the brand. I love Rouge Smoking. I love Celle d'Argent is very good as well. And I also like Tabac Rose, if I'm remembering the name correctly. But this one is just awesome for this time of the year. And yes, it does have the type of DNA that will get you quite a bit of compliments. I can also kind of compare this one to Mandarino di Amalfi by Tom Ford. So if you've tried that one and you know how that shiso note is being used in there, you're gonna get something similar with this one. Number 2 is Side Effect by Incio Parfums Privé. For whatever reason, Incio does really well in terms of the complement factor. Now, of course, in this particular fragrance, you're going to get the hedione molecule, which is also said to have a pheromone-like effect on people. But it's boozy, it's rich, you have the cinnamon, the tonka bean, the rum, you have those sweet elements, the vanilla that's lingering in here. Absolutely amazing. And the fragrance that comes in the number 1 spot is youthful, but it's mature at the same time. It's sophisticated, it's sweet. You can wear it on a date, you can wear it to a club. And it's the one fragrance from this brand where if somebody said, listen, Steven, I'm looking for compliments, please make a recommendation of a fragrance from this company. This is the one that I would tell you to check out first. And this one by Parfum de Marly is called Leighton. Leighton Exclusif is much darker. Herod has a lot of that tobacco honey thing that's not going to cater to everybody's taste. Sedley has a little bit of that quirky incense that's in there. Acaster is this oud and rose composition. And so when you're looking for something mass appealing, the vanilla, the apple, that youthful yet sophisticated vibe, you're not going to find it in any other fragrance from this company than Leighton by Parfum de Marly. What a great fragrance to wear if compliments are your thing, if it's the name of the game. However, I always like to preface these videos by saying it's a little bit too late now. But, you know, we don't always wear fragrances for compliments. We wear fragrances because they appeal to us. They're mood lifters, they're spirit enhancers, they're pick-me-ups. I love the artistic value of a lot of these fragrances and how well composed they are and the amount of time and diligence that the perfumer has poured into each one of these creations. But a lot of us love getting that compliment. You know, it's almost like that validation that we're looking for. It's the cherry on top, you know? Maybe we're having a rough day or we're working ourselves out too much and somebody says, wow, you smell really good today. And it's enough to just, you know, release a few endorphins in our system, brighten our day. And in any case, these have been 10 fragrances on the niche side of things that always seem to get me compliments. If you, owner, have tried any fragrance from this list, I would love to know what you think. Leave a comment down below. What has been your favorite fragrance on this list? And I would also like to mention once again that if you are interested in picking up any fragrance from this list, I think probably with the exception of this one, you may do so at FRAGRANCEUSA.com. All of their information is going to be down below. And once again, make sure to utilize the coupon code down below to ensure that you're getting the best price possible. Thanks again for watching. Love you all. We'll see you next time. Bye.